Hi everyone, super excited to talk about this new feature called automatic transaction backdating in the bank feed. Now this page is intuit.canny.io/changelog. Don't worry, I'll put a link in the description. But once you log into the changelogs, you can actually see all the product feedback across the board. Multiple users and product managers in QuickBooks interact with each other to discuss new product improvements or issues or whatever. And what's really neat is in the changelog, every time they add something big based on user feedback, you get to see it here. Now, a lot of these features don't make it into like big announcements because they're generally sort of small releases. So it's really good to come in here and subscribe so you get an email automatically when something new gets released, which QuickBooks nerd like me obviously wants to know immediately when something got released. So this was released this morning and I just got a chance to sit down and test it and do a video about it. So let's go into bank feeds to kind of walk you through how this works. So we're going to have a transaction here that is dated January 2026. But let's assume that the underlying transaction in which the downloaded transaction from the bank was actually from a previous date. So in order for me to have proper accruals, which means the actual payment for the invoice came in January, but the invoice was supposed to be from back in December, for example, or the other way, paying a vendor bill that was supposed to be dated back in 2025, but it's just being paid now in 2026. The challenge that we've had traditionally is we would have to get out of banking, create a bill, save the bill, come back to banking and match it. So what Intuit did is they added a process in which you can immediately create the bill or the invoice and match it in a single action, basically. So for example, let's say that this particular customer, the payment came in January, but this is an invoice that was supposed to be created back in November. So instead of going and creating the invoice manually, I'll click on the drop-down menu here and click on where it says Create Backdated Invoice. I'll click on that. Then it's going to ask me what's the original date of this invoice from which this payment is going to match into. So let's say this is supposed to be November 11th. Then I pick the product and service that goes into the invoice. Unfortunately, you can't pick multiple line items. If that's going to be the case, you're going to have to create the invoice manually. Then I'll pick the customer related to that or project related to that invoice. Click on Create and Post. And two things are happening at the same time. One, the invoice is being created with that item with that date, and the payment is being matched automatically. Now, the way I can sort of prove that is I can click here on Post It, and I can see this transaction that was posted, and then I can see right here where it says transaction posted. I can see the underlying transaction that was created. This takes me to the actual payment, which is dated January 1st, which is when the money came in. I'm going to scroll down and see right here the invoice from November 11. So if I click on that, that will take me into the invoice. This was a specific invoice that was backdated. Okay, it's dated back in November 11th. Here's my customer project related to it, and here's the item that I picked. Now, there's some things missing on this feature. Of course, I would still have to go back to it and add a description, or add a class, or add a location, or a custom field. It has custom fields, so it's not perfect from that sense. Also, it gets created with no invoice number, so I think QuickBooks should have asked me for an invoice number, because actually you're not even allowed to create invoices with an invoice number. So if I go back and edit it, it doesn't let me do anything unless I actually add an invoice number. So they need to fix that, where they automatically add an invoice number or ask me to enter the invoice number manually. Everything else should follow. So terms and stuff like that should match the underlying customer. But again, in that backdating process, I think that in the process of them trying to make this super easy and simple, they made it way too simple, and then we're missing some fundamental fields for those transactions. Let's say the same thing for Netflix. Let's say this bill was from December, and I don't want to go back, create the bill, etc., etc. So I click on the drop-down menu, click on Create Backdated Bill. Then I'll pick my date. Let's say that's December 24. I pick my category. Let's say it's subscriptions. Perfect. And then I pick my vendor. If the vendor doesn't exist, I can create it on the fly. which is just fine. But again, I'm going to click on create and post. And again, two things are happening at the same time. The bill's being created, the payments being matched. I can click on my recent transactions button and then see the two transactions that were created. I can click on the bill and see it. And I see that this bill, it's properly dated for December 24. Again, I'm missing my bill number. I'm missing the ability to enter a location, a description, a customer project, or a class. Again, I think what QuickBooks was trying to release is version 1. Let's test it. Let's see how much people like it. And then maybe they add a little bit more layers of complexity. So the idea behind this feature is that you don't have to go back and create the invoice or go back and create the bill. Is that you use the downloaded transaction as a reminder or a workflow to create that transaction. Now, maybe you don't need all those details. Maybe all you truly need is that date, because all you're trying to solve for is for the accruals, because you want that expense to show up in my accrual basis profit and loss for last year, not for this year. Because if your cash basis is linked to when the payment was made, but if your accrual is linked to the original transaction date. So this solves for that, and it does it perfectly and spectacularly. But I can already foresee people wanting to go back and make sure that those transaction IDs or the reference numbers are created properly, and those other fields are also entered in there. Anyway, I hope you like this first version of it. I certainly do. I think this solves a really important issue, and it is going to save you a lot of time if you're doing a lot of backdating of underlying transactions from the bank feed screen. Once again, I'll put a link to the Canny website so you can see everything that QuickBooks is working on real time, all the feedback that users are giving, and all the features that have been already set up for review and backlogged, because these are things that QuickBooks eventually is going to release, whether it's a new feature or fixes. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.